Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. It's good to be back. Ooh, okay. Hey, shalom, everybody. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Wait for some people to pop on. Hey, let's see what we got here in the chat. Wonderwana, what's going on, sister? Dollar Chadash, what's going on, sister? Man, let me get back out to Cleveland. What's going on? What's going on, y'all family? Okay. So I know you know the title, short walk through the Maccabees. It's around that season. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do today. Get a little bit of history. I won't make it that boring though. I promise you. Get a little bit of history first. I got some pictures for y'all too. So, and then from there we'll break it down, and then we'll parallel some things. You know how I like to parallel things that go along with this kingdom, because it all kind of interconnects. The people that was in the time of the Maccabees, as far as our enemies, when we talk about Greece and Rome, are still those same people uh, here today. Especially when the coming of Christ coming soon, the coming of the Hamashiach coming soon. All those same spirits are going to be back on the earth that witnesses death. So, so there's nothing new under the sun, indeed. So we'll go through it. Just to get a little, a span. Let's go with some dates. This thing is going to be a time period between, the third, second, and then the first century uh, after death. So that's where this thing takes place. So it's a real part of history. This is why I like the Maccabees, because there's a lot of history and there's real people in it, as we'll see, and you can tell people about it, and it might shock them because they never read it. Uh, but allegedly, and what people say and what scholars say is that the Apocrypha was a part of the KJV, the 1611 version, like for 200 some odd years. It was removed maybe in the 1800s, um, but yet and still, it's still profitable to read. I know Martin Luther. I think he was a Protestant. He said that even though it's not regarded equal to the Holy Scriptures, it's still very profitable and good to read. So that's a so-called white man saying that. You know how Negroes are. If the white man said it's good, and it's good, right? When we say it's good, it's nah, brother, that's wicked, right? Oh, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? Shalom, shalom. I remember y'all, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since I did a class, huh? Rabbi Ben Israel, shalom, brother. All right, so first and foremost, give all praises and thanks to the Most High, man, for just gathering us here together. Um, you know, thank y'all for joining me tonight, um, and it's always a pleasure too as well. So when we talk about the Maccabees, let's just show you a picture of where the story is going to take place. Let's share the screen. Yeah, so let's show you a picture of where it's going to take place. Where is it at? There we go. All right. So hopefully everybody sees this, because now I can't see y'all. Hold on. Yeah, good. Okay, yeah. Okay, there we go. Boom. So, so this is what Alexander the Great did, y'all. Man, he conquered everything. I can't see the people outside your window now. Ain't nobody outside. It's too cold outside now. It's too cold outside now. Yeah, man. No, I move some things around. I'm about to move it around again though. You gotta change up sometimes, If you want to change sometimes internally, sometimes you gotta change the way things actually physically are in your place of dwelling too, right? I think that's why every once in a while when you were children you had switched assigned seats and you moved all over the room, right? It's good to change things up sometimes. But anyway, so this is what the empire is going to look like, man. This is Alexander's going to set up basically the beginnings of what we call today white supremacy, man. White supremacy for sure. So let's read the scripture though to go along with it, right? So let's get First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who had came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Mede, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So when we go back to this is the damage that he did, man. He conquered everything. He conquered everything. Now, let's see here. Let's get this one for a second. Solution. And then let's go back. All right. So let's see. Oh, let's read it all the way through. I'll read it all the way through to 9. So he was the first over Greece. Macedonia is right above Greece. So he was definitely of European descent, definitely Greco-Roman of that nature, right? He was a so-called white man. And he went across and dominated people of color, facts. And what he sought to do was Hellenize everything, get everybody to get down with Greek culture, right? With the idol worshiping and all these types of things, as we're going to read. But anyway, he made many wars, won many strongholds, and slew all the kings of the earth. And he went through to the ends of the earth and took spoil of many nations, in so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart lifted up. So as we see here, he by the way of the sword, which was his blessing that the Most High gave him, he took full advantage of that blessing. Took full advantage of that blessing, and he subdued the known world that you see right now on your screen. He gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries, nations, and kings who became tributaries to him. Okay. And that's a parallel to what happens here. And that's a parallel to what happened even beyond this empire. We had imperialism, right? And the things that were learned in Alexander's time and in the time of the Maccabees are the same things that we see over time during different periods of men trying to rule over everything. Okay. Now, after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So here he's saying that it's a little bit of nepotism going on, right? A little bit of nepotism, a little bit of cronyism, right? You had all your day ones, all your most loyal men. There's nothing wrong with that, but you divvy up the kingdoms, you divvy up the provinces that you see here, okay? So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule in every one of his place. Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns on themselves, and so did their sons after them many years. And the evils were multiplied in the earth. And that goes with Job 9:24. Man, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And why? Why were there evils multiplied in the earth? Right? Why? And we'll get to that. Now, a lot of people don't really talk about this, but before this happened, when they all put crowns on themselves, they had wars, y'all. I think they were called the Wars of the Diadochi. Okay. And that was between the 3rd century and the 2nd century. Okay. And they were going at it. And then out of all of these people, it was Ptolemy. I can't spell his name. Ptolemy, Seleucid, and Antagonism. And that's what you see all three here. And with these two kingdoms, with Ptolemaeus the third and Seleucios, that's the Seleucid Empire, that's the Ptolemaic Empire. And these are Greeks now ruling over Egypt. These are Greeks now, white men ruling over the land of what we now would call like Syria. Um, and these are, and obviously back in their home base, right, in Greece, Antagonos, right? So these are Greeks ruling over different nations of people. And that's why when they do those old Egyptian movies, they have their people as pharaohs. And technically they're not lying because for a time during this time period they did act as that. They did act like that. All right. Let's see here. I'm just trying to do something different. I don't want to just read straight through. Um, let's see here. So now, now this is an excerpt from a different source. Now almost after 50 years after now almost 50 years after Alexander's death, some sort of order was restored. Okay, so Ptolemy ruled over Egypt that we see, and then southern Syria, and that's known as Koli Syria, which is Palestine and Syria, right? And various territories on the southern coast of Asia Minor, right? And then Antiochus ruled the Asian territories of the empire, where Macedon and Greece fell to Antagonas. So that's how it all got divvied up, okay? That's how it all got divvied up. Okay. And then what did they do? Don't they have a god called Zeus? And that's a storm god, is it not? And where did this storm god come from? You know, let's just shut down the screen here. Yeah, so where did this storm god come from? It's Zeus. Everybody knows Zeus, right? Hercules and the whole pantheon, right? We watched the movies when we were little kids and we didn't know nothing. We thought it was okay. Stop screen. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Stop screen. Present. Share it. Right. And then we'll share. So this is Enlil right here. This is that storm god. Okay. And this is Samaria. Obviously, Samaria goes back to the Fertile Crescent, the Indus River Valley civilizations. It's the oldest of the old. That paired with Babylon, paired with the Akkad, all right here. All right here, right? The Chaldeans, Babylonians, Assyrians, all these things. Ancient Mesopotamian, right? Storms, Zeus. They got it from somewhere. You know that white man ain't that creative. And you know he's the biggest biter ever. So he's gonna bite something. You know, he even bites his idols. So but you can thank these civilizations for that. And since it came out of wickedness, that's why the world is wicked, because there's nothing righteous about this. Nothing righteous about this. Let's see here. Before we get into it a little bit more, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, but like Hellenism is just like uh it's like going back to this form of idol worship. It's the same thing. It would be the same if the Sumerians were trying to push Enlil on the children of Israel and across the whole world, right? They would try to Sumerianize the world, right, and their customs, right? But yeah, that's what was going on during this time. That's what was going on during this time. We've seen pictures of it just to verify. I gave you a couple of dates. And with that being said, let's just get into some scriptures. Get into some scriptures now. Okay. So the first thing you got to do though, when you dominate a people though, you gotta act like everybody's one too. You got to make sure that there's no differences. And we all know that that's not true because we're all made different. We know that the Most High made 18 nations. Um, we know that we all have our different characteristics that make us unique and special in our own ways. This is what they did though. Let's go back to the first book. Go back to the first book here, and let's skip down. Let's skip down to. I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen. Present. Share screen. Look out. Okay. So let's go down. I don't want to read the whole thing, but let's go down. Go down here. Alexander reigned. So they set up everything, right? And then let's read verse 10. And out of them came a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So we have this wicked king Antiochus. And in those days, therefore came out of Israel wicked men who had persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we had departed from when we have much sorrow. So once again, we got coons in the Bible. And a parallel to all of this, man, is you're trying to suck up to power. You're trying to suck up the power before the power sucks you up, right? And we see that with our people this day. We see it in the politics. We've seen D.L. Hughley do some talking crazy. D.L. Hughley was out here talking real crazy about black men. All for what? He made some type of covenant with them to do that. He made some type of covenant. You got people pay for play, come on there. Beyonce got 10 million. Over here in Chicago, we could barely get anything. They barely want to do anything for us, right? So I mean, people sell out, man, to the highest bidder, and to these wicked men, they feared this empire and these Grecians and Antiochus more than they feared the Most High. Because if they feared the Most High, they would have known not to do that, and that's just how it is, When you don't fear the Most High, you're gonna do stuff like that, When you don't love your people like that, man, you're gonna be looking out for yourself, and that's what you've seen this whole election cycle. You've seen these black men, these black women, look out for them and the Democrat Party, and that was it. Look out for them and the Democrat Party. They really didn't care less about y'all. They just tell y'all to go vote, and then that's it, But they're making the covenants with them. They're making the covenants with these people behind the scenes. Let's check the chat, see if anybody's in. Hey, what's going on, brother? Shalom, shalom, shalom. Grace and peace onto you, onto the chat and the panel. Most High bless. The water, brother. Most High bless. Hey, I know it's been a while. Shoot, it has been a while. Brother. But duty calls, man. Duty calls. We got to continue in the righteous acts. Man, because it's getting worse and worse out here, and we need that spiritual protection. We need to be on the Most High's good side too, as well. And you definitely don't want to paint a picture half or pour a glass half full. You don't want to start a painting and not finish it, man. You want to see this thing through. That's why it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. There's going to be times where hey, bro, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm back in business. Yeah, but man, there's going to be times where you get a little bit tired and you put the brush down, right? But as long as you kind of resume and, I can come up with all types of analogies, man. But, this thing's hard, man. This walk is hard and there's going to be ups and downs, but we just got to keep on pushing through and keep on fighting and keep on fighting. All right. So, the shocker, man, keep on fighting with me, brother. We'll have many more of these classes together. And hopefully, brothers get to meet up in real time, too, to chat. Now, let's go back into it. Let's go back into it, y'all. Okay. And we're going to keep the screen up. Now, let's go, because then we'll be here all night, right? So we have wicked men. Also, and this is in the second Maccabees too. It goes in more detail. But this is what they were doing here, man. This is where you get those Olympic stadiums and everything. This is the start of that. They putting in their customs and traditions. They're putting in their bread and circus and all these types of things that we're going to see the Romans do. Now we got unfortunately, the NFL and all the sports and the NBA, and our people kind of get lost into those types of things too as well. So, and a whole bunch of things, we got the award shows here that's got idolatry in it. We got so much different things. Now these social media apps are becoming like a idol, like a culture almost, yeah. So that's why it's imperative that we, as we get to know ourselves in this truth, that we kind of divest ourselves from the ways of America, which is this the new Babylon, the mystery Babylon, which is a culmination of Egypt and Babylon and Greece and Rome. All right. But these are the customs of the heathen. And, in Jeremiah 10:2, or in the 10th chapter, it says, be not dismayed, man, and go not the way of the heathen, because their customs are vain. They don't mean a damn thing. It doesn't mean a damn thing at all. Okay, so let's go down. Let's skip down here. And you see this right here? See? Now, when the kingdom was established for Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, right? That he wanted dominion. So he wanted dominion, man, over the two realms, right? He wanted dominion. He wanted dominion over the Seleucid and the Ptolemaic Empire. Ooh, I can't say that. But he wanted a rulership over Syria and the Levant, or Palestine and Judea, and he wanted Egypt too as well. And this is what he said, though, too. This is what he said, yo. He said, I think it's 41. Okay. And he said, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. All right. So there we go with the bull crap. Because when they say that, that the persecution's coming next. That the Willie Lynch letter's coming next. The black codes, segregation, Jim Crow, all that's coming next, All that's coming next. They just got to woo you in a little bit. Just got to woo you in. And then it all goes to heck. All right. And then when we get Deuteronomy 32:8, are we all one people? Did he make different people? Let's find out real quick. So you had the so-called white man saying that we should all be one people, knowing dang well y'all knocking off noses to this very day over everything that you conquer. Talk about some, literally y'all came down with mess with the Hamite stuff, knocked off their noses and everything, and then you want to talk about some let's be one people. Can I have my one nose back? You know what I'm saying? The Egyptians like, well, damn. So, But this is what it reads. This is what it reads right here. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided the nations, but were all one people, says King Antiochus. He divided the nations, their inheritance, and he separated the sons of Adam, and he set bounds and boundaries. Yeah, borders. He set borders and boundaries of the people according to the number of children of Israel. So everybody was separated. Everybody had their own situation. They weren't all one people. Then nobody, all worship one deity either. So he's a lie. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? It's like they say we're one people until you went to a sundown town, until you go to remote parts of Texas, or even in I don't know where this. I mean, this might change. Mississippi probably still got them. I know Arkansas got them. You can look at videos on YouTube. A black man visits the most racist state in the country, and they got them boatloads of them, boatloads of that stuff. And that's what it is, man. Like the trick us, thinking that oh yeah, because we want to not so much we want to be like them. We just be wanting to get along too much, especially here in these United States, especially here. Okay, so let's keep it moving here. Now check this out though. This is kind of interesting that I found. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Maccabees. Let's go back to Maccabees real quick. Shalom for everybody that's joined in. Tawada, I appreciate you. I'll take a look at the chat in a minute. Let's go look at First Maccabees, this is chapter 33, right? Look at this though right here. I found this kind of interesting. Now, let's start from let's see here. This probably 33. Now let's start from right here. Verse 28. So the land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered in confusion. And Antiochus is going on a tear. Antiochus is absolutely going on a tear after he said we should all just be one people, right? So he's going on a tear, terrorizing the people. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector tribute onto the cities of Judah, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude. So he basically sent like tax collectors almost. I know Pax Romana is not up yet, but this is like the precursor to taxes. So you thank King Antiochus for that. And then spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. And spake peaceable words, man, but it's all deceit. It was deceitful. He was deceitful. That's the meaning of a devil. King Antiochus was a devil for sure. King Antiochus was a devil for sure. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. So a man gonna say we're all one people and then come in and then destroy your stuff. The man's gonna say, I got a Green New Deal. Everybody in the bread lines, y'all all gonna get subsidized housing. But then when it all comes down, yours truly doesn't get nothing. Okay, y'all could go up and y'all free from the plantations. We all gonna be one people. We all gonna be equal, except for we found ourselves back on the plantations, taking out bad loans from the plantation owners, right? Oregon's talking about we're gonna whip you 40 times if you stay past a month, and it's gonna get worse every month you stay. So get out. We don't want you here. That's going on in Oregon, right? So, You know, you say you want us, but you know, you show us the right hand, right? But then you give us the left at the same time, you know. And that's why our people were confused. Like, what's going on? And that's why our people stay confused, you know, stay confused with the elections and all this type of stuff. There's a whole bunch of deceit that goes on. There's a whole bunch of peaceable words that go on. But still, our people are destroyed. Still, our cities are destroyed. That's why we can't put no faith in these politicians, right? We can't put a lot of faith in man in general, right? Because sometimes they're full of deceit, man. They're full of deceit. You got that double forked tongue. That double forked tongue. So here he is lying to the children of Israel. Okay. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and the walls thereof of every side. It's crazy. And if you can imagine, and this is why I wanted to bring out that map. But if you could really imagine, uh, you know, it's just like how it was in the South. The same, it's almost like the same. For me, it gives me that same picture in my mind. You know, a bunch of white hoods running around terrorizing black folk. And that's kind of what they were doing. I mean, 600,000 of our women were ravaged during the early years. You know, Jim Crow, all of that, slavery, all of that, man. They were going crazy on us. Right. So, but the women and children, they took captive and possessed the cattle. Right. Then they built the city of David. They built the city of David, man. Jerusalem. They built it. They built up a evil version though. Then they built it a city of David with great and a strong wall with mighty towers and made it a stronghold for them. And that's what we see now too. A lot of times, and even our people, you know, we get spoiled through the gifts, right? We get spoiled through gifts. Could be some people are simple, you know, they get a little promotion and they're like, man, I love America, you know. But you know, you get your penthouses and your gated communities and everything, and you gird up and you make it a stronghold. And you look down on people and you try to lord over people. That's why I can't stand that Negro Brandon Johnson. That's why I can't stand that because that's him right here. That's the little wicked Israelite making covenants, right? Now I understand that some of them Venezuelans are going to be our people. I knew 2 Venezuelans, you know, and one of them was more Jakish because he was freestyling just like I was freestyling at the parties. You know, he was doing everything just like how I was doing it. You know, so, and then I met one that was more Spaniard, right? Into the more fair-skinned and all that type of stuff. But, you know, he's making covenants talking about some, yeah, bring the Venezuelans in, I got you. I ain't going to do nothing for the black people. I ain't going to do nothing for my people, man. He's from Elgin. He's from Elgin, man. Lording over us. Lording over the people on the west side and the south side and the east side, man. Just wicked. Alcimus, too. We're going to talk about Alcimus, too. That's another parallel with this Mayor Johnson that we got, you know. And if you don't watch out, he going to wind up like Alcimus, at least, you know, in a jail cell if you don't quit it, you know. But that's a nice little parallel. But then check this out, though. So they built the city of David, and there they put a sinful nation and wicked men and fortified themselves in it. So let's go to the 2nd Samuel, which is crazy. It's like a opposite but equal effect. But this is how it was when we were righteous, man. This is how it was when we were righteous. 2 Samuel. Okay. Now, check this out. Check this out. Remember when I said that we are all one people? Check this out. 2 Samuel chapter 5 and 1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. So yeah, we are all one people. All the 12 tribes of Israel are one people. Okay, but we're not the same as the rest of the nations. That's why the God. That's why the Most High chose us over all the rest of the nations. We're a special and peculiar people. Okay, stiff necked and hard headed too. But nonetheless, he's still rocking with us. He's still dealing with us. We're his family. He punishes us the most out of everybody else. And we're just wondering when the white man's going to get his. When is he going to get his as a nation collectively? That feels like they avoided that karma of slavery and all these things. But don't worry, it's going to come to them just like how it came to Antiochus in the time of the Maccabees. But anyway, so he said, "Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh." All right. Also, in time past, when King Saul was over us, thou wast he that led us out and brought us into Israel. And the Most High said to thee, "Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel." So he was a righteous king. Saul was not so much a righteous king, right? And that's what's happening in the first Maccabees. They set up the city of David again, but it was unrighteous and it was unholy. These people just twist everything. Even that swastika didn't really mean what it meant. That swastika is on a lot of different things, right? Even the shield of David, or the Star of David. People might think of that and might think of you know um, devil worship than you trying to conjure up something in witchcraft. It's just it's a perverted symbol. It's powerful. That's why people use it for the left hand side. But once again, you're seeing that the perversion and flipping things that are righteous into unrighteousness. So all the elders of Israel came onto Hebron, and King David made a league with them. So he's making a league not with heathen, not with the Philistine, not with the not with the Philistines, not with the Romans or anybody like that. He's making leagues with his elders, and they anointed King David. They anointed King David, and David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he ran for 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. All right. And he said, "Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, stronghold of Jerusalem, and his name is the city of David." So basically, they built a new Jerusalem, and it was wicked. When David was in charge, it was good, right? And that's why you're going to, that's it's not a different topic, but you're going to have factions come out of Israel. One being, factions like the Zealots, and you got Sakari, and I think it's like the Essenes, and all these different factions that come up, man. And some people wanted to bring back the time of David, like in these times, too, as well. So anyway, I just wanted to parallel that with that. I'll go back to the chat, see how everybody doing. Yeah, hoodwinked and bamboozled over and over and over again. And honestly, I can't believe y'all. I'm serious. I can't believe that black women, educated black women, just really with a straight face. Like, Kamala is not black, yo. Come on, man. But if they say it on the TV, they believe them, right? And it's just that the trust, right? It's just the trust in the system. But why do our people trust it? Why do our people trust it? I think I said it, but let's see here. Why do our people trust it? Some of our people. I think it's in Ecclesiastes, y'all. So, surely oppression make a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart, man. A gift destroys the mind. So, if say that we're on the plantation, and you know, I'm comfortable though. Master's giving me a whole bunch of extra stuff. I got extra rum. I got little off days. I can come in the house once a week and sleep on the bed. You know what I'm saying? I may not want to leave the plantation with y'all when y'all trying to run away because the gift destroyed my mind. These little gifts from my oppressor, it made me feel comfortable with my oppressor, and it made me feel comfortable with the hardcore chattel slavery. It made me feel comfortable with being less than a human being. When these Democrats give our women, the glitz, the glamour, and the fame of all these positions, it gets to their head too. They think that they the stuff. Our men did it first. Our men did it first, and they failed equally as bad as the women. I mean, at this point, we all got blame coming around. I mean, just look at Chicago. You had a wicked Lori Lightfoot that didn't do nothing for nobody and was just black and gay. Keep it a buck. And then you got wicked Brandon Johnson that don't do nothing for nobody, not even his own people. That's actually destroying financially our city, making our men and women go out and work 10 times harder to bring home uh to bring home some funds into the household. He's making it 10 times harder. If those bills would have passed, your Balthazar knows, man. If those bills would have passed for those rent for those property taxes increases, man, everything would have went up. Man, a candy bar would have cost $10 type stuff. It already costs $5 a Kit Kat bar. Shoot. So, man, a gift destroys the heart, man. That's why our people are in love with it. That's why our people trust this system. You know, it's very vain. It's very simple, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If you can give somebody a position and he'll go against his whole nation of people, you'll take that instead of actually fixing issues. You'll take that, especially if you're wicked. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So what did they do? What did they do? What did they do here? Let's go into the meat of this thing. So just to recap, we got the Greek nations. I mean, the Greek generals, the Greco-Roman generals, right? That were all cool with Alexander the Greek. They got divvied up the empire. Now they want everybody to think like them, act like them, be like them, worship like them. And if you don't, then some things is gonna happen to you, right? And they lie. They're deceitful. You got wicked men coming out the woodworks trying to get a piece of the pie. Just forget about the Most High. Forget about what he did for us in Egypt. Forget about the stories of old and the men of renown. Forget about Moses. Forget about all this stuff, man. This Antiochus is the baddest thing walking now, and I gotta go and court him. And we see that this day with our people, like I said, here now in 2024, about to be 2020, so-called 2025. Let's see here. So what happened? First Maccabees again. Let's get it. Sorry, I'm a little rusty, y'all. I won't warm up though. All right. 43. First Maccabees, let's get 43. Oh, so I got those. Okay. First Maccabees 43. I was about to trip out, like, what? So Antiochus wrote to his kingdom that all should be one people, right? And everyone should leave his laws. Everyone should leave. That's the bull. That's the bull, right? You can leave your laws. We're all one people now. So that all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Okay. Let's keep on reading. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, sacrificed to idols, and profaned the Sabbath. And we see this to this day too. We see it to this day. Y'all know who they might be. Y'all may have examples of it too, but we all know it's the celebrities and the entertainers that are up front, you know, because that's the, you know, sadly, the so-called white man is right though that we do listen to our entertainers and our comedians and the athletes and the actresses and the actors and everybody that's in Hollywood, man. Everybody that's got fame and its wealth, because that's what the scriptures say too. That men and women and people, man, they listen to wealthy people, even if that wealthy person was wicked. They still, they still respect it. They still respect the power, the material power of men and women. So that's what he was doing, man. He was trying to convert us, Hellenize us. Key right here. Let's keep on going. For the king had sent letters by messengers onto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they might follow the strange laws of the land. All right, so he sent out little letters. Sent out letters. And this is in the strange laws of the land. I mean, we could talk about that here right now in America. As far as the abortion being a strange law of a land, especially how they just really go hard for it. That was black women. I'm gonna need y'all to get it together. If y'all just I know y'all did not vote for that woman because y'all wanted to kill children in the womb. I hope that wasn't the case. I hope it was just us being simple and you just voting because you think she's a so-called black woman. But that's a strange law. Abortion is a strange law. This LGBTQ stuff is a strange law. Gender affirming care, that's a strange law. I think the Supreme Court's going to rule on that soon too. So we're going to find out if they oppose it or not. What else? No fault divorce is a strange law. Just doing it or anything. And you could put a strange law that we got here in the chat. I'm trying to think, man. There's just too many. But with the agendas that they got and everything like that, it's just strange laws here, and they were ushering in strange laws here too as well. In the Hasmonean dynasty, in the time of the Maccabees, where Greek kings, military generals had domain over Syria, Palestine, Judea, and Egypt. Okay, just to resumming it up again, right? And it's for me, when I stop and think, right, because I'm always at odds with the people that are actually there right now. And the people that are actually there right now, it's I just have a hard time believing that they're the same people here. Even though some people agree to it, they seem to actually enjoy strange laws. So I'm going to show y'all what I mean. Okay, I'm going to get with no love for his people too. Yeah, there we go. You're about to say, hold on. Let's get him. Because I'm tired of this Negro. He needs to go. He grew up wealthy and Elgin amongst whites, but lording over Jake in the ghettos with no love for his people. And that's why those two sisters was, I think they gaining traction too. And they for real too. The two sisters, man, that I think they with the Flip Chicago Red movement. Yeah, man, they lit him on fire so much that border czar, whatever, might throw him in jail. And they said that they gonna start here first. They're gonna start here first, man. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. And he got no love for his people. He definitely ain't got no love for his people. I think the prerequisite is to not have love for your people. I have not seen one so-called black politician have love for his people. Now, they had a chance to vote for a righteous man, They did. But you know what they said? He was a brilliant dude. He was black too. He was a brother too. He talked with a heavy Louisiana accent. Talked with a heavy Louisiana accent, but he built businesses, successful, built businesses and everything. You know what they didn't vote for? Because they said he couldn't speak. He couldn't speak. The accent was too heavy. Our people are very, and that's Moses too. I don't want to listen to Moses. He don't talk. He don't talk well. But here go Lucifer and Satan, the devil, talking with cadence, delivery, seducing you. Isn't that the point? Isn't that we got here in the first place was the game and how you say things cunningly and with deceit, smooth talking, and not just kind of telling it like it is, even if you got to stutter and have it blurt out, right? So that's man. We're some simple people, man. I ain't really know about that. But anyway, but this is what they're doing in the land with no oppression. Nobody's telling them to do this. This is just them organically. This is just the small hats, that the real Amalekites, who they call themselves Jews, who are Jewish, or kind of, and they're converts, but they are not the biblical Jews of the Bible that we so know, because they don't match the curses. But what does match is the culture, the parallels between Greek culture, Roman culture, and what they got going on in the land right now. I mean, it's astonishing. So I'm going to pull up this picture real quick. Hold on. Remove. Let's go here. Okay. And then present. Yeah, absolutely, Con. I'm going to get 4 and 6 too, mother of a thigh. Oh, Hosea 4 and 6 too for you. Look at this, man. Look. Israel has been an LGBTQ haven in the Middle East. Now, the New York, it could change it. So it's like, how could those people be those same people? If Nicanor walked in to this for the first time, this Israel for the first time, he'd be like, dang, are y'all my people too? We do everything. We do all of that. We have little pride parades too. Yeah, we got one in Athens coming up. Y'all want to get down and have a joint one? It's the same culture. Is it not the same culture? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because I will forever do this with these people, man. It doesn't make sense. And honestly, the Greeks and the Romans, they never really got down like that. They never really fought. I mean, well, they did fight. Don't get me wrong, but not just how Alexander the Great just dominated everybody. He dominated people that didn't look like him, And I just find it odd that they would try to dominate people that's so similar in culture. This is no oppression. You got this. You subdued the Syrians and the Palestinians and all the Arabic nations around. You got the nukes. You got the best military weapons. You got free education. You got the Bible, right? And you got everything to usher in the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You got everything, and then you just innately do this. Look at what Netanyahu. Let's get I'll copy and paste it, but I'm gonna get the article too if I can, and then I gotta hurry up too. The water for your patience. I definitely appreciate you. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good right here. This is good right here. Watch this. Can't play with me, y'all. I'm telling you. They can't play with me. Hold on. Let's see here. Stop screen. Present. Share. So this is their leader right now, man. This is their leader right now. Netanyahu says won't accept harm to LGBTQ rights in Israel. You know, is are you anti-ocean smug? What's going on here? You're right. So Israel's incoming prime minister. This is when he was incoming. Incoming prime minister. This is when he knew too. And Benjamin Netanyahu said in the interview on Sunday that he won't accept any harm to LGBTQ rights in Israel amid the public outcry over his coalition agreement, right, with the far right Nome Party, right. So what they didn't know, about that coalition, he was gonna do what Spain did to the Jews in 1492, which was expel them. They had a new sense of white nationalist identity. That would be far right leaning. And they took a look to the south and like, we got to get these so-called Negroes up out of here and these Moors up out of here, right? And it's the same thing, man. They didn't know it at first, but he was going to try to exterminate and put genocide on these Palestinians. But anyway, that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. Let's stop that screen. Let's go back. So he said that, yeah. He also said Israel is not going to be governed by Talmudic law. He told opinion journalist Barry Weiss, "We are not going to ban LGBTQ forums, and as you know, my view on that is sharply different, to put it mildly. We're going to remain a country of laws I govern through, the principles that I believe in." Ain't that something? Ain't that something, man? Man-made religion, following the ways of man, following the ways of this Netanyahu, right? And if it was already like that, and those people were already like that, there would be no need. There would be no need for Antiochus to do any of that. There wouldn't be no need for Antiochus to do any of that. They'll mess around and just make a mistake of Greece. Oh man, y'all is like us so much. You got the bathhouses too. We do the woo up. Yeah, we got that too. Man, I'm telling you, man. But anyway, let's get back to it. Present. You should absolutely come. Wow, come. Yep. Yeah, but it's wild in Chicago though, man. Y'all gotta stay tuned. We might do videos on that because this whole year finna be, at least the first 3 months of this so-called new year is gonna be real crazy around here. Real crazy. There might be fallouts with the Venezuelans and the gang activities, and it might get a little turned up here. But anyway, let's go back to it. Let's get back to it. Right. So strange laws. So my thing is, the people that are there now, they got strange laws, and I would just beg to differ that if they were the same people in here, they wouldn't have to follow these strange laws because they would already have them. They would have already had them. They can't hide behind that book. It's just not in their nature to even be like that book, Anyway, 48. Frame the Sabbaths. So they want us to pollute the sanctuary, man. Pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, right? Sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. That's going to make the Most High mad. They shall also leave their children uncircumcised and their souls abominable with all matter of uncleanliness and profanation. Okay. To the end, they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So they wanted to do it to the point where it just becomes innate. It just becomes innate, man, and it just becomes a permanent thing. And this is what they do because that's all they know how to do. It's almost like how we act in our neighborhoods now. We just been doing it for so long that we don't know nothing else. We don't see another route. We don't see another way because we got to get it like this. We got to get it out the mud like this if you live here. You know, there's no way else to do it. It's not that there's no way else to do it, but no one's showing us different avenues. But anyway, I get besides myself. Let's see here. 49. And whosoever did not do according to the commandment of the king said that he should die. So, we're worshiping man instead of worshiping the Most High here. And so we're just falling down, man. We're just falling down. But we're scared and we're terrified. We're scared and we're terrified, but that's what it is, man. When the Most High waves His hand over us, especially as a nation in this time, it's something else. It's something else, man. It's the onslaught of things. And then He also had us sacrifice city by city. We had to, forced us to, right? And in the same self manner wrote to His whole kingdom and over appointed seers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. And this is the real part right here. So First Maccabees the first chapter, verse 54. Now in the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up abomination of the desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the city of Judah on every side. So what was the abomination of desolation? Does anybody know? And you said cleaving as well, becoming each other every day. Yeah, there's different avenues, man. But since we just do it so much, and and the enemy doesn't help us or show us a different way because he wants us to do that. This is what we've been doing. This is what our children been doing. That's why the generations, they wax more wicked and wicked because they don't get shown another way. You rapper, drug dealer, athlete. That's it. That's it. All right. The abomination of defamation, man. He set up swine, man. We were sacrificing pigs, man. Swine on the altar. It's the abomination of desolation. Let's see what we got here. And so that's the abomination of the desolation, man. So let's go through. I got a lot more, honestly. I have to do a part two. All right, 20 more minutes. So let's go through this. So let's go through Second Maccabees. Let's go through Second Maccabees real quick. This is. So we're just going to tell you about the Feast of Dedications, how it got set up and everything. So we're going to start here. All right. Now, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to come and compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So who is that old man of Athens? That was who we just read about. It was Antiochus. Right? And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem. Like they purposely want to do this too, and call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. It's temple of Jupiter Olympus, man. So they got that. They got their Greek pantheons. They got those Greek gods and those pagan idols already, right? And that in I can't spell today. And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. Of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. Man, they should call Brandon Johnson that. He's definitely the defender of strangers up in Chicago, as they did desire that dwelt in that place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. Verse 4. The temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. Uh, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. So they got prostitution going on and all these things going on. They got all these things because they don't respect it. They don't respect it. They don't respect their laws, customs, and everything like that. They don't respect it at all. The altar was also filled with profane things, which the law prohibited. I bet you one of those things was swine. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fasts or profess himself at all to be a Jew. Okay, so this is what's going on. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they brought a bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivory. So another pagan thing that we were doing. This is just the precursor of what's going on here in America too, because now it's not we're being forced to do it. We're not being forced to celebrate Christmas. No, but you get pulled into it because it's other people that might. You might not even be in the truth, right? But because of the environment and the culture and the Christmas spirit, it might compel you and everybody around you and seeing the decorations, it might compel you to get in to that habit during this time of the season, during this time of the year. So you might be compelled in different ways. You might not be forced by a king to do it. You're not forced by the president to celebrate. You're not forced to celebrate these pagan holidays, but the influences of the people they compel you to. It's almost like we do it to each other almost. Uh, that's a part of the mental slavery and the crabs in the bucket mentality. You So verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. So this is what they were trying to do, right? And whoso did not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. For they were women brought who had circumcised their children, whom had openly led around the city, babes handing at their breasts. They cast them down headlong from the wall. That is crazy. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, man? Having newborns and infants, man, with the umbilical cord as like a noose. Man, that is wild, isn't it? It's so wild. It's so wild. So, with that, let's see here. All right. Let's get So that's what was going on. That's just a synopsis of what was going on. Let's get the fourth chapter. Let's get the fourth chapter real quick. Let's skip around. Oh no, I think it's let's see here. 12. 2, 10. No, that's not it. Let's just get the fourth chapter. That's cool. Slagia. Okay, we got the fourth chapter. So the fourth chapter, right? This is before they cleanse everything. So we just read what was going on, how messed up it was. Yeah, prostitution going on. You had swine, sacrifice swine, hanging kids from umbilical cords. Eating unclean meats, all that stuff against their will. And then some people partook in it willingly. A lot of crazy things going on. But in chapter 4, we have Georgius, you have Lysias, and they got armies. And Judas Maccabeus, our hero, he's going to go through and lay the smackdown on them. Okay. So let's just read this right here. Let's go down to verse 5. First Maccabees 4 and 5. In the mean season came Georgius by night into the camp of Judas, and he found no man there. He sought them in the mountains, for said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds. All right, so they didn't have anything. They didn't have any weapons. So they were just scoping them out. So the battle was about to begin. So 4 and 7, and they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed and compassed around about with horsemen, and these were expert of war. All right, so they got a formidable opponent, so it seems. But check out what Judas said. Then said Judas to the men that were with him, fear ye not their multitude. Fear ye not their multitude. Sounds like a story of 300, doesn't it? A small group of men going against the mighty Persian army. He said, neither be afraid of their assault. Don't be afraid of how many people they got. Don't be afraid of the armor and the weapons that they got either. Don't be afraid of that. Because he said what? He said, remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea when Pharaoh pursued them with an army, right? So it's still almost the same thing, right? It's still almost the same thing. They get you to sacrificing idols, right? They get you alienated from the Most High, and then they pursue you. You know, they have you captives and enslaved. You try to get away, they pursue you. Same stuff, man. Maccabees 4 and 10. Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Most High will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host from before our face this day. So just like David did, to be honest, lots of parallels here for David. You know, that's what David was talking about too, when he had told when he had grabbed the ephod, and the Amalekites were coming through, right? Yeah, man. He was like, man, can I destroy them? You know, he asked, man. He asked, I want to destroy them. Am I going to be victorious? All right, Lord, let's get it. It's the same stuff, man. Let us destroy this host before before our face this day. You know, we need His help to vanquish our enemies. Whether he's, obviously we can't, I don't, promote physical violence or anything like that. But you can pray and, hey, man, there's this person bothering me at work, having a bad day. By all means, you pray against that man, pray against that woman. Hey, Lord, please put a wedge of protection around me. And do all of that. So all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So they joined the battle, and the heathen being discomfited, they fled into the plain, man. All praises to the Most High, man. All praises. We weren't scared. We didn't have a lot of people with us. But with us, they see 3 so-called black men on the corner. They're gonna bring out the whole precinct of police. Our strength in numbers is way different than other nations' strength in numbers. Our strength in numbers is way different than the other nation's strength in numbers. Okay. So he said, howbeit, all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them onto Gazaria, onto the plains of Idumea. And yeah, they killed about 3,000 men. Okay, so let's just skip around. Let's get a little bit to the point here. So there we go, man. So Georgius is down for the count. Georgius is down for the count, right? Israel had a great deliverance that day. Great deliverance, man. All praises to the Most High. And that's why we celebrate. And when we celebrate this day, it says for us to come enjoy, like joyous, because I mean, you just got to see your enemies, like your true enemies. Man, these are like new. It's almost like new kid on the block. It's like, okay, yeah, we were dealing with the Philistines in the time of David. Who are these? What the hell is this Antiochus? Okay, okay, right. So it's a great time, man. A mighty army, and you made them run. It's a great time. So around this time, man, knowing that our people against all odds overcame, man. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. So let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Enemies. So let's get. So we already know that they going in. The army that's getting set up, they getting destroyed. All right. Don't matter how many of them. All right. We putting up. We giving our praises to the Most High, and we going in fearlessly. Right. And we chasing them all around until we chop off every last one of them. All right. Thus saith the Holy Scriptures. And this is happening in that time period of the second century, second and the first century. Okay. And look at Diaz. So whenever you bring it, I'm trying to get down to look at this part. Look at this part. This is what I'm saying, man. Our numbers, man, are different. This is Lysias. Now, when Lysias saw his army put to flight and the manliness of Judas's soldiers and how they were ready to either live or die valiantly, he went into Antiochia and he gathered together a company of strangers. So this is like that Psalm 83 thing, man. Like these other nations, man, they're all kind of complicit. That's why I really don't feel bad for no Syria right now. Assad had fled into Russia. Um, I don't feel bad for no Syria. I don't feel bad for no Palestinians because at one point in time, y'all was tag teaming us and trying to overthrow us during this Maccabean period right here, man. Anyway, when the Ashodi got over, and having made his army greater than it was, he purposed to come to. So he said, "Okay, y'all got it going on. I'm gonna get a bigger army and go back into Judea, man." So he said, "Then Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfort. Let's go up and cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary." Right. So after his enemies were discomforted, this is when they go and they cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. That's a feast of dedication. So they're dedicating themselves to rid the sanctuary and the temple of all the idolatry and the wickedness that's been going on. It's literally it's unclean, and they gotta cleanse it and they gotta clean it up. All right. So let's just go into that. Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Sion. So they joined battle. Oh, wait. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profaned, and of the gates burned up, and the shrubs growing in the courts, as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, yea, in the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes, made great lamentations, and cast ashes upon their heads. Right? And there you go. They're crying towards heaven, putting their faces to the ground, just like how they were doing in the Old Testament. Same thing. They do supporting certain men. Let's see here. Let's get to the point here. So he chose priests blameless a blameless conversation that had pleasure in the law. So you basically, you know, just like how Alexander, the Greek, had his men that were most loyal and divvied up. That's what Judas did. The men that were most loyal, that had the most pleasure in doing the law, they were in charge, man. These are true lovers of the Most High, man. That's going to dedicate this temple to the Most High and clean it up. It's still once again, it's still a theme of renewal at the end of the day too. It's still a theme of renewal. Nicanor, Epiphanes, Alcimus, Antiochus, they all dirtied up the place. They made it unclean. But your boy Judas Maccabeus and the crew, they cleaned it up. All praises to the Most High. All right. So that's what they did. Who cleansed the sanctuary and bared out the defiled stones in an unclean place. Okay. And let's skip down to the 50s. Let's skip down to the 50s. All right. So y'all get the point. Y'all get the point real quick. And let's listen here. 447. Then they took down the whole stones according to the law and built a new altar. Because when something's unclean, especially when you read about the copulation and all that, it just and the woman that has this on her cycle, anything that she touches is unclean. The bed, even if it's the man, or the bed sheet, a chair that just anything is unclean. All right. So you gotta have it new. You gotta wash it, right? So you can't really wash stone, right? So you gotta take new ones. You gotta build a whole new altar. Everything that was done is unclean. So we gotta build something new. Gotta build totally new. Everything that you did in your prior life basically was unclean, right? You come into this walk, you know who you are now. We're gonna start new. You're gonna have new stones, right? Right? We're gonna pour out that old wine, pour out some new wine in a new wine glass, right? Everything's new. We're gonna start clean. That's what the new moons is for. All right. It's just a clean start. Time of renewal. So all these things, man, is just showing God's just showing his mercy through these feast days over and over and over and over again. It's very beautiful, man. We can never say that he's not a God of second and third and fourth and fifth chances. Almost infinite, it seems like. 48. And they made up the sanctuary and all the things that were in the temple and hollowed the courts, right? They made new vessels, right? Okay. Upon the altar, they burned incense, right? They lit up the temple. They set the loaves on the table, right? They got all of that done. And this has all happened now on the 5th and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called in the month of Caslu. In the 148th year, they rose up betimes the morning and offer sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of birth offerings that they made. Okay, and let's just skip down to 56. Skip down to 56. And they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and they offer burnt offerings with gladness. Right? I'm not supposed to, no, most are okay. We just wiped out all these Greeks. And you got the poo-poo face. No, but that's why it's important to come with like a good spirit, Gotta come with a good spirit to these high holy days, to these feast days, man. Right? And let's see what else we got here. Right, so they decked it out. They decked out the temple again with gold. They got shields, all of that. And there was very great gladness among the people, man, for the reproach of the heathen was put away. And moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that in the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 5th and 20th day of the month of Clasu with mirth and gladness. And this, my friends, is what we would call the Feast of Dedications. I got a little bit more. I might do a second one. I'm gonna do a second one on next Wednesday. I'm gonna finish this out, and then we'll find more parallels. But I just wanted to go through the first 20 or 30 minutes or so and just get like history, right? So you know that there was a lot of bloodshed and war after Alexander died. Alexander was a real person. All right, he died in the 3rd century. Okay, some say it was near Babylon. All right, he had portioned his kingdoms. Right, he had the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt, the Seleucid, which is Syria, and then he had it home base. And then that was Antagonist. Okay, and all these kings wanted to Hellenize the whole world, the whole known world, and that was the beginning of white supremacy, and that was the beginning of what we know right now that we're still living under. So let's go back to the chat. Let's get back to the chat. Hey, y'all. Here we go, Sparta. Oh, God. I got some more parallels, though. I got like the second portion that I want to get into. We're going to get into leadership. Our leadership. There's going to be more Brandon Johnson stuff, all right? I might share a couple of videos of that Negro, too, because he is something. I got a little bit more on King Antiochus and what we would call white guilt. And I'm going to parallel that too. And that's and that'll be the next one. But that'll be the end of the class. The water, man. Woo! Hey, y'all, forgive me, man. It's been a while since I did one. So boy, a little rusty. But no, it feels great, man. It feels great. Yeah, so next Wednesday, man, we'll be back on. It feels so good to be back. The water. All praises to the Most High, man. And I hope y'all have a blessed rest of your night. Stay warm out here. Don't use the actual heat. Use the stove. Save money. Cut the stove on. Just playing. Oh man, no, but hey, the water king, the water. Yeah, I'll do a part 2, and then we'll have some fun and stuff like that on the next one. The butterflies. Okay, I did good. Okay, all praises to the Most High. All praises. Yeah, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here though. I love y'all, man, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your night. Blah blah blah. Good night.